Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft.
Work at night, so I get up just in time to get ready and go to my first meeting.
Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder of Facebook.
Are you on Facebook yet? The site is up to 60 million users so far, with a projection of 200 million by the end of the year.
Shahid Khan, principal owner of Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham FC.
Realization of a lifelong American dream. I just want to share with you, I'm totally committed to Jacksonville.
This is the fairy tale story of Shahid Khan, an Illinois-based business maverick who recently bought an NFL team, Jacksonville Jaguars, for a reported $760 million.
Gautam Adani, co-founder of Adani Group.
Gautam, let's explore this further. What motivates you when you do business or in life itself?
As an ordinary man, the courage, strength, resilience, and tenacity of the average Indians are very inspiring and motivating for me.
Richard Branson, co-founder of Virgin Group.
Welcome back to the show. We used to talk when you used to come on late night, and you said, yeah, I'm going to be going to space one day, I'm going to go to space. And you're doing it now. You did it.
Yeah, it was many years. I think we did interviews, and I would go next year. But anyway, finally it happened. And
you were in space.
Yeah, it was.
You said you were going to do it, and then you did it.
It was the most extraordinary day of my life.
Do you know what is common in all these people? You might think they are among the richest people in the world, dominating the present world. But there's something else they have in common. They have successfully escaped the education trap. In this trap, every person is proudly putting themselves in.
I have to do, if I have to move somewhere or start something or whatever it may be, I'm not going to put my children into a system that doesn't understand the gifts and abilities I have just because they don't fit on the conveyor belt.
And in the US, there are more than 5 lakh people who don't send their children to school. Ironically, mostly all teachers, because they know how screwed up the system is.
On the other hand, you might be in college, doing assignments on time, maintaining 90% attendance, memorizing books unwillingly, and following all the rules in the hope that when you leave college, you will have a degree, you will get a good job, buy a big house for your parents, purchase an expensive car, get married, and send your children to a good school. But do you know what the reality is?
In 6 months, I did 11 to 12 tests, but उनमें मुझे कहीं भी कोई इंटरव्यू के लिए कॉल नहीं आई और ज़्यादातर यही होता है कि रेफरेंस मांगते हैं या एक्सपीरियंस मांगते हैं कि गांव में रह रहा हूँ मैं क्या करूँ। इसके बाद मैंने ये सोचा है कि अब मैं बाहर के मुल्क में जाऊँगा, वहाँ जाकर मैं मेहनत मजदूरी करूँगा और इस तरह जो है अपना गुजारा करूँगा।
ऐसे तालीम याफ्ता अफराद की भी कमी नहीं है जो 1 से ज़्यादा मज़ामीन में डिग्री लेने के बावजूद भी बेरोजगार है।
जहाँ तक पाकिस्तान में मुस्तकबिल का सवाल है तो लगता तो नहीं कि कोई भी उम्मीद है। जो भी डिग्री ले लो, जितनी भी जीपीए के साथ ले लो, नौकरी के लिए बाहर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा।
हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी अनएम्प्लॉयबल ग्रेजुएट्स को प्रोड्यूस कर रही है।
After working hard for 15 years, you finally get a graduation degree. But now you realize that you are not getting a job. You give so many interviews, but everywhere you are rejected for some reason. People start making fun of you.
भावना से परिवार रिश्तेदार वाले उतने बात नहीं करते सर, और मैं 2 साल से गाँव में भी नहीं गया अभी तक। दुख है सर, क्या बोलूँ, मैं अपने दुख और पीड़ा को किसी के पास सामना नहीं कर सकता हूँ सर। बहुत संघर्ष से पढ़ा हूँ, ट्यूशन पढ़ा के मैं 2012 से ट्यूशन पढ़ा के अभी तक मैं पढ़ाई किया हूँ और मैं कुछ भी हासिल नहीं कर पाया।
You stop meeting people. You lock yourself in a room and cry. You just pray that God gives you a job somehow. Gradually, your self-esteem and self-confidence start decreasing. Finally, somehow you get a job, but its salary is very low. But what can you do when you are helpless? You start doing that job. You don't have enough salary to buy a house, so you take a home loan. Now you have a house, so obviously you should have a car. You take a car loan. Unknowingly, you have tied yourself up from all sides. Now you are always scared that you might get fired, because then how will you manage household expenses? Home loan EMIs going on, car loan EMIs going on, and school fees for kids. Gradually, you suppress your dreams. You wake up early in the morning, go to work, and come home in the evening, whether you like to work or not. A day comes when you find this life normal. Gradually, while working, you grow old. You will feel that maybe you were unlucky. That's why you couldn't do much in life, because you worked hard. But the truth is something else, my friend, which has been hidden from you till date.
The gang of 9 got together, I think it was, and decided this is what people should learn. physics, biology, chemistry. And this is how they should learn.
It's like the newspaper industry, right? More printing presses, more big buildings, right? Makes us look grander.
The people who built the schools were consciously aiming at eradicating the will of the students who were part of the system because they wanted them to be obedient.
The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail, not a foundation to get an A.
But the education system was created so that you could fail. That education system was created so that you could become an obedient factory worker. You might think I'm talking nonsense, but I promise, just give me a few minutes and you will understand this entire trap yourself. So, are you coming with me? Shahid Khan, Babar Azam, ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan, and ex-Prime Minister Mian Nawaz Sharif, all of them are trapped in our current education system.
Because just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
The year is 1806. There is a war between Napoleon's army and Prussia. Despite being one of the best armies, Prussia loses. Prussian leaders don't understand how they can lose to such a good army. After a lot of thinking, their leaders understand that their army was strong, but during the war, instead of following their superiors' orders, they were using their own brains, whereas Napoleon's army was only following Napoleon's orders. As a consequence of this defeat, Prussia has to give half of its territory to Napoleon and sign a peace agreement. Now, the Prussian leaders face a challenge that this should never happen to them again. But how will they do this? They get an idea, control those brains who are not capable of thinking by themselves, who don't know what is right or wrong, so that whatever they are told, they believe it to be the truth. An 8-year education system is built, the Prussian education system. From 5 years to 13 years, the education system is compulsory.
Produced a universal education system in the late 1800s because they were afraid they were losing military superiority and they wanted to produce a cadre of mindless, obedient soldiers. That was expressly the purpose.
The sole purpose is to transform the coming generation into obedient individuals who follow orders without question. This system was giving them exactly the same result. At the same time, from 1760 to 1840, the Industrial Revolution was at its peak. The global economy was shifting. People were doing agriculture and making products with their own hands to earn money. But now, machines were dominating the world. Machines were able to make more products in a day than a person could make in a whole month. However, there was a problem: lack of workers in factories. People were doing agriculture, making products with their hands, doing small businesses, and earning money. Why would anyone leave all this to work in a factory as a laborer? The Prussian education system had already reached superiors because of its results. Different countries started building their education systems on the Prussian model. The sole purpose this time was to create a generation whose creativity would be killed, leaving only one option: work as a laborer in factories.
Corporate types mostly who wanted to produce cadres of obedient workers. And that's why the desks are in rows, and that's why there's factory bells, and that's why it's top-down leadership.
At that time, our country was under British rule. The British faced the problem of controlling such a large population. In 1835, Thomas Babington Macaulay proposed promoting English education in Hindustan. Lord William Bentinck, the Governor General of the East India Company, passed it through the English Education Act of 1835 based on the Prussian education system.
Education should create a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinion, in moral, and in intelligence.
The Britishers used the Pakistanis and Indians to enslave the Pakistanis or Indians, and the Pakistanis and Indians followed the rules of the Britishers as their duty. It's been 76 years since independence. Yet even today, the first thought that comes to parents' minds is sending their children to study in big schools. Schools and colleges are becoming more about status than education. Children are admitted to good schools with the belief that these schools will secure their future. Students go to school with a fresh, curious, and creative mind, but soon they are given a limited set of subjects. From morning to evening, they study these subjects. If they think about or study something else, it affects their marks, leading to punishment. Parents believe that their child's future is being made and that they are becoming successful. But during their entire schooling and college life, students are being prepared to become dependent workers.
जिनको भी कहती हूँ कि आप अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाओ तो मुझे देख के ये कहते हैं कि आपने पढ़ लिख के क्या किया।
स्टूडेंटों के लिए नई नई जॉब प्लेसमेंट लाएंगे, जॉब के लिए वैकेंसी लाए तो कहाँ है वो वैकेंसी?
वैकेंसी बिल्कुल आती ही नहीं, और वैकेंसी आएगी तो उसमें भी पहले जो रिश्वत देते हैं उन लोगों को ही लेंगे।
ये कहीं भी कोई इंटरव्यू के लिए कॉल नहीं आई और ज़्यादातर यही होता है कि रेफरेंस मांगते हैं।
This system was never made for individuals to become self-dependent. The goal was to provide industries with affordable and obedient workers. No one wants you to become a millionaire or self-dependent. If you become self-dependent, you will question everything and reject the wrong things. But you will never understand this trap because you are too young to think and understand when you are put in it. By the time you realize it, it might be too late. Or you might be so old with so many responsibilities that you can't escape. You have paid lakhs of rupees to schools, colleges and coaching centers, and in return you get a job of 30,000-40,000 rupees. The International Labour Organization states that 65% of youth in Pakistan are jobless. Even if they get a job, truck drivers in the US earn 10 times more than them. Should we stop going to schools and colleges? No. Instead, we need to question who created this education system and why. The system was built when the world needed billions of workers, but today, the situation is different.
$170, 180 से आज 300 तक हो गया, लेकिन सैलरीज वही हैं।
MBA करके रक्षा चला रहे हैं, रेडिया लगवाया है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे डिग्री की पढ़ाई की कोई कदर नहीं है। जो बाहर जा रहे हैं बिल्कुल अच्छा कर रहे हैं, वो अकेले नहीं, उनको चाहिए अपने माँ बाप, अपनी फैमिलीज को लेकर बाहर शिफ्ट।
Following this system has led people to live below average lives. We have two options: remain stuck in this trap and put our children in it too, or build our own path and explore ethical ways to earn the amounts we want. We don't need more college graduates whose only goal is a job. We need people with skills, not just degrees. Today, you can learn the biggest skills through online courses at a much lower fee and from people who have achieved success using those skills. If you are a parent, send your child to school or college, but don't give importance to the mark sheet. Give them exposure. Tell them there is a lot to do in this world beyond just maths, chemistry, and physics. Motivate your child to explore different things. It's okay if they get fewer marks. Maybe they are learning a skill where they perform much better. We take a year drop for Jai, NEET or GATE. But have you ever taken a drop year to understand your passion, know your interests, and explore different opportunities? Do you want a stable and average life, or do you want to do something big in life, earn a lot of money, and fulfill your dreams? You have to decide. Thank you so much for watching this documentary till the end. I don't know how many days I have been working to make this documentary.